The area is underwater. Welcome to NHK World Newsline. An explosion was heard at a nuclear power plant in Fukushima Prefecture north of Tokyo on Saturday afternoon. The government's Nuclear and Industrial Safety Agency says the radioactive elements cesium and iodine, both a product of nuclear fission, have been detected around the Fukushima number 1 plant. The Tokyo Electric Power Company, that is, says 4 workers were injured. Chief Cabinet Secretary Yukio Edano has told reporters that the explosion did not trigger a huge leakage of radioactive materials. He emphasized that the reactor's container was not damaged.
We've confirmed that the explosion at the Fukushima number 1 plant did not take place in the reactor's container. The blast occurred because the building's walls fell down. Measurements show that the amount of radioactive material released actually decreased after the explosion, so radiation levels are not rising.
Edano said the Tokyo Electric Power Company began pouring seawater into the container to cool down the reactor at 8:20 p.m. local time. He says if the procedure is successfully completed, the problem of the power plant will be resolved. People have been advised to evacuate from areas within 20 kilometers of this station. Fukushima Prefecture says it received instructions to widen the evacuation zone from the Prime Minister's office at around 6:30 p.m. The government's Nuclear and Industrial Safety Agency has explained why the government ordered a larger evacuation area covering 20 kilometers. A spokesperson for the Nuclear Safety Agency held a news conference early on Sunday. He said they were trying hard to prevent the release of radioactivity. He added in a worst-case scenario, the area surrounding the plant would be deeply affected.
There is no immediate danger in sight, but the radius was expanded to 20 kilometers just in case.
All nuclear power plants have some form of backup water system in case of an emergency. But as we've been reporting, the system failed at that nuclear power plant in Fukushima Prefecture. The mechanism to cool the reactor is called ECCS, or Emergency Core Cooling System. ECCS is made up of a series of systems designed to safely shut down a nuclear reactor during serious accidents. It provides emergency cooling water to the core of the reactor to keep it from overheating. Under normal conditions, heat is removed from a nuclear reactor by condensing steam after it passes through a turbine. The condensed steam is then fed back into the reactor and through the heat exchanger that keeps the reactor core at a constant temperature. The quake-hit Fukushima number 1 plant has a total of 13 diesel generators to operate the ECCS, but the operator of the plant, Tokyo Electric Power Company, says all the generators failed because of the quake. Fukushima Prefecture says that 3 patients at a hospital near the damaged nuclear power plant have been found to be exposed to radiation. The authorities made the discovery after randomly testing 3 out of 90 people. Authorities added they would need to be decontaminated, but at this time, they have no health problems. They also say there is no clear evidence that the radiation exposure was caused by the earthquake-damaged reactor. Japanese Prime Minister Naoto Kan held a news conference in Tokyo Saturday night.
Saving people's lives must be our first priority. We must do all that we are able to do to save as many lives as we can now. I've asked the Defense Minister to consider increasing the number of self-defense forces personnel taking part in rescue efforts around the country to more than 50,000.
Prime Minister Kan said because the quake and tsunami waves were far beyond what the government expected, the power plant's disaster prevention systems were not able to cope. Kan said the government has been prioritizing the safety of local residents. Japan's health ministry says it's sending an emergency medical team to the Fukushima #1 nuclear power plant. It says the team is on standby in the event of a possible radiation leakage. The team left the National Institute of Radiological Sciences in Chiba City near Tokyo on a self-defense force helicopter on Saturday morning. The Radiation Emergency Medical Assistance Team, or REMAT, is made up of doctors, nurses, and experts on radiation measurement. It has arrived at a nuclear disaster response center about 5 kilometers from the power plant. The number of fatalities and the scale of destruction is mounting by the hour, all caused by the magnitude 8.8 quake and the ensuing powerful tsunami waves. The tremor is the largest on record in Japan. More than 680 people have been confirmed dead, and the death toll could reach more than 1,000. The northern prefecture of Miyagi was hardest hit. The quake there measured the highest intensity of 7 on the Japanese scale of 0 to 7. A tsunami pounded Sendai City, washing inland 10 kilometers. Police say among the number of dead, 400 to 500 bodies have yet to be identified. In other parts of Miyagi Prefecture, 178 people have been confirmed dead. Rescue and identification efforts are being slowed because much of the area is underwater. In Kesennuma City, a fire engulfed much of the Bay Area. The Fire and Disaster Management Agency says the flames may have been sparked after oil leaked from a tank following a tsunami. In neighboring Fukushima Prefecture, 204 people have been confirmed dead. A tsunami higher than 7.3 meters hit a port in the prefecture. Wide stretches of the coastline are still flooded. The Meteorological Agency says that many tidal stations on the coastal areas of Tohoku, Hokkaido, and Kanto cannot get data on tsunami. It says the accurate height of the waves will be hard to measure. In Iwate Prefecture, at least 258 people have been confirmed dead. Self-defense forces say another 300 to 400 bodies have been found. In Tokyo and neighboring prefectures, 42 people have died, some after being hit by falling objects. Again, the number of people dead across Japan could reach 1,000. Many of our reporters were on the ground when a powerful tsunami hit coastal cities right after the massive quake. This is how things happen in the city of Kamaishi in Iwate Prefecture.
At 3 p.m. Friday afternoon, Kamaishi City Hall issued a tsunami warning. Residents quickly evacuated their homes, looking for higher ground. These people managed to get to this hilltop. Mothers held on tightly to their children. They listened anxiously to the radio for more information.
港の境を越えて水が今、入り込んできています。
At 3:11, a massive tsunami swept through the city.
The quake and the tsunami have drastically changed the landscape. Take a look at these aerial pictures taken before and after the disaster.
We have a footage from above. First of all, Minami Sanrik Town in Miyagi Prefecture. The right down is the sea, and this is the hospital building. This is a 5-storied building, but the water came in up to the 4th floor. And as of shortly before 300 patients were waiting to be evacuated. And this is Minami Sanrik Town before the earthquake hit. the yellow circle is where the hospital is, and right above that there is a city office. And according to the homepage, this building is two-storied building, but after the earthquake, as you can see, you cannot see any building which the city office used to stand. And according to the city office, there has been no contact whatsoever with the city office. Now this is Soma of Fukushima Prefecture, and the upper part of the screen is the sea, and you can see that the water came in from upper part of the screen to the lower part of the screen. And this is Soma before the earthquake. It is very green, and also in little below the center you can see residential area, and then once again the footage or the picture after the earthquake. The residential area has been inundated, and as you can see, it's been devastated. And this is Rikuzen Takata of Iwate Prefecture. This place has also been devastated, and the left part is the residential area, but as you can see, it is completely flooded. And this is Rikuzen Takata before earthquake, seen from the same angle, and you can see that the city has completely been changed. Due to tsunami, the wooden structure buildings have all been washed away, and also other structures have also been damaged. And this is Sendai Airport after the earthquake. The left part is the runway, and part of the runway is underwater. And also the area surrounding the building is covered with muds and stones. And this is the picture before the earthquake, and once again this is the picture or footage after the earthquake. As of 6 a.m. this morning, you can see that many vehicles covered under the mud below the screen.
Rescue efforts continue for people stranded on the roofs of buildings and other places in affected areas. A person who was saved has revealed how she escaped the tsunami.
Self-Defense Forces personnel have been bringing survivors in Miyagi Prefecture to their hospital in Sendai via helicopter. The hospital has treated about 50 survivors so far. Tomoko Ito is a 34-year-old housewife who lives in a coastal area of Natori City. She escaped the tsunami by evacuating to a pedestrian bridge while carrying her 5-month-old baby.
When I got home, I had a neighbor shouting, "A tsunami is coming." When I got out of the house, I saw the tsunami approaching. An elementary school, the designated evacuation site, was too far, so I fled to a footbridge.
She says tsunami waves reached as close as 1 meter beneath the pedestrian bridge. She adds she was scared when she saw large debris, including cars and parts of houses, being carried away by the wave.
We were soaking wet. Other people who fled to the footbridge helped to keep us warm. We are all right thanks to their help. I'm relieved that my baby was not harmed.
The number of fatalities and the scale of destruction is mounting by the hour, all caused by the magnitude 8.8 quake and the ensuing powerful tsunami waves. The tremor is the largest on record in Japan. More than 680 people have been confirmed dead, and the death toll could reach more than 1,000. The northern prefecture of Miyagi was hardest hit. The quake there measured the highest intensity of 7 on the Japanese scale of 0 to 7. A tsunami pounded Sendai City, washing inland 10 kilometers. Police say among the number of dead, 400 to 500 bodies have yet to be identified. In other parts of Miyagi Prefecture, 178 people have been confirmed dead. Rescue and identification efforts are being slowed because much of the